takes is one bad day.
Batman the Killing Joke is a standalone animated movie where Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprise their roles as both, obviously Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne Batman and Mark Hamill as his amazing interpretation of the Joker, and my personal favourite. I don't think it's tied at all to the old animated series, which was really awesome and I will be reviewing as well, but it's there. Now, when this film originally came out in 2016, based on the 1988 graphic novel, I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot of controversy and a lot of people didn't really like it. I mean, it's only got like a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes and it's got 6.4 on IMDb, which is quite low for some reason. However, I got it quite cheap, and I thought, hey, let's give it a watch. And I watched it, and I have to say that I really enjoyed the film. I know there's one awkward scene in there which I think didn't need to be in there, but it didn't bother me whatsoever. It's a choice they made. I was like, meh, whatever, happens once. And that is obviously, if you don't know, the relationship between Batman and Barbara Gordon, who is Batgirl. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this story, this is a story where the Joker escapes from Arkham Asylum and tries to prove that in one bad day, any normal person can go insane, and he chooses Commissioner Gordon by choosing to do some pretty horrific things to him and to Barbara Gordon, and you get a little flashback into his past on how he becomes the Joker. It's pretty similar to things we have seen before in maybe live action movies and whatnot. I don't want to give too much away, but I really enjoyed the animation art style, and this film's about an hour and a half long, and it's about an hour and 16, I think, hour and a half with credits, I believe, but in all honesty, the stuff with Batman was really good. Like, he does some fighting, he does some, he kicks the crap out of people, which is what you want. Barbara Gordon has some really cool fight scenes as well, and the Batman and Joker have a really fantastic confrontation within the film itself. And I know the general consensus is that they should have just one-to-one recreated the comic book like they did with The Dark Knight Returns. But of course, they added on like a half-hour like a prologue which they created for this film with Barbara Gordon, where she's chasing after a character whose name is Paris France, which is even that they make a joke about it in there as well. And that was all interesting. I think that was just to flesh out Barbara and show that she's vulnerable just as much as anyone, because Batman and her is a bit of a strained relationship. Of course, we all know that Bruce is dark and brooding and broken. I mean, he saw his parents get shot and all that kind of jazz. And within this standalone film, it takes place in a post-Jason Todd being beaten to death world. So he is very stern and very broken. He doesn't appear much in the first half of the film, but the second half he does some detective work and goes around. There's also a cool little Easter eggs and callbacks to things said, like when he's like he's got a bad guy up against the wall, and he says, "Oh, I swear to God," and of course he's like, "Swear to me," which is of course in the old Christian Bale film. That may be a line from the original comic. I don't know. I've not read the original comic. It's quite short and a little overpriced for me. However, I enjoyed the animated movie. I still think this is worth a watch, and I think it's really good. But let me know in the comments down below if you have checked out Batman the Killing Joke, or if you have not. It is good. It is pretty dark in places, but overall, solid Batman story. As always, thank you very much for watching.
Tell me what I'm doing here. You're going mad.